Hey guys, I'm Koko, welcome back to Indie Month, a month where I play a different indie game every day for 31 games. 31 days, not games, but also games. Anyway, let's continue. Today we're going to be playing DinoSystem. What is DinoSystem? Well, let's go through the basics first before we continue into details. So, it's been developed by Kokoplays Studios and published by Black Shell Media. It came out on Steam Early Access on 25th of June 2015, so roughly 3 years ago. And its reviews are very positive. There's over 100 of them and they are very positive, so good stuff there. Tells you that the game is doing something right, or well, developers are doing something right. Now, this is a survival game. Also, it's a god simulator game at some points, but I'm gonna tell you there's two games in one game basically. Okay, so first things first, let's focus on the one that is the most fleshed out and really plays well, which is a survival game. Basically, it's a 2D game akin to Darkwood. Your character operates and moves and interacts with stuff kind of similar to Darkwood if you played that, or if you've seen it on my channel. I played it, well, almost 2 years ago now as well, I think. Maybe even, yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah. Kind of like Darkwood 2D, and you are, well, as the name would say, there's dinosaurs. You are on an island, you're deserted on a lonely island out there. There's no human habitation over there. Habitation, indeed. All there is only you and a bunch of dinosaurs. There's not many dinosaurs because this is fully realistic ecosystem with dinosaurs. You have only two large predators, let's say, two Tyrannosauruses. Then you have a couple of smaller predators like Troodons, and then you have more herbivores like Triceratopses and Ankylosauruses, and possibly some more. I'm not quite sure how many different dinosaurs there are, but there are dinosaurs. Because the reason why that is because a lot of big dinosaurs, big meat eaters, cannot be sustained by just a couple of herbivores, right? So that's why this is done like that. So it makes sense. There's also Troodons, which are small meat eaters that can actually annoy you very much, and in group will definitely kill you, especially if you provoke them, or well, even if you don't provoke them. But maybe if you're bleeding or if you're injured, they're gonna go for you. They're gonna smell that blood, right? Right, and you know, don't fight a T-Rex. That's just stupid. Anyway, you start without anything. You have nothing on you. Actually, let's first go into world development. So as you begin, you can pick a survival mode or god mode, whatever you want. But survival mode, we get talking about that right now. So let's go into that. You have seasons. You have all 4 seasons, and each one is different. In summer, it's of course hotter, and I think fires can start, and puddles of water are gonna just evaporate faster. Then you have autumn, where there's more rain. Then you have winter, when it's pretty cold. And you have spring, where new life begins. And probably spring, when you begin, it's probably the best season to start. You have asteroid chance. That is basically the world-ending event that ended the dinosaurs. So, you know, you probably want to set it on let's not happen too soon, right? And then you can also do a peace mode. And big dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus are not even gonna spawn, they're gonna be extinct. And as I said before, this is full ecosystem, so you can actually get dinosaurs to be extinct. You might, there's, I think there's starting 2 big Tyrannosauruses and maybe 1 kid. And if you, by any chance, or other dinosaurs or something, could manage to kill 2 females, let's say that there were 2 females, and there's only 1 male, he's gonna eventually die, and that's gonna be the last of T-Rexes. There's not gonna be any more because they won't be able to reproduce. Same for any other animal, right? That's how it works. But well, as for animals, there's only dinosaurs out there. There's no small rabbits that you could hunt for food. No. Anyway, on the island, you can also set up how big the land mass is gonna be, how the coastline is gonna look, how many mountains there's gonna be, how fertile the place is gonna be. basically stuff like that. And then as you jump in, as the world gets generated, you can also pick your character and give your character a bunch of traits. Now you start with 0 points, right, as you would expect. Well, you know, sometimes in RPGs you get, let's say, 20 points and let's put them into random things that we want. But no, here you start with 0 and everything is pretty much balanced. Like how fast you can run, how good you can swing your melee weapon, how good you are at crafting, how good you are at making fires, how good you are at range weaponry, all that kind of stuff is like, let's say, at something that's medium. But you can then take points out of something and make you worse at something. Let's say maybe let's make me a bit more skinnier, which is, you know, I'm not gonna have a lot of calorie reserves if I'm starving, but I can put those points into maybe more muscle. So I'm skinnier but more muscle, right? Something like that. Or maybe I can put it into, I don't know, athletics. There's also like skin tone, which goes up when you're exposed to sunlight, right? Also the hair length and stuff like that. So it's basically how fast you get hot from hair exposure. Oh, hair exposure from sun exposure. Yeah, I was talking about hair, and you know, let's not talk about that. Anyway, currently you can only play as a male character. This is of course still like early access and stuff, and you can't play a female, unfortunately. You can also choose the length of your hair and what color it's gonna be. You can also be bald, blonde, black, whatever you want to be. You can choose your maximum health through stuff like that, like I think body muscle. More muscle gives you more health. Like if you're less fat, your health is also gonna drop. Like your strength is gonna drop if you're skinnier. There's a bunch of skills, like you have athletics, endurance, toughness. Toughness is basically your maximum HP. You can increase it using that. You have like your melee ranged and first aid skills that you would expect. Yeah, then you have your survival skills like fire making, crafting, building, digging, butchering, gathering, fishing, and zoology. Fishing is kind of nice because you can just make a spear out of some sticks and stones that won't break your bones and go try to spear a fish, which you can then cook over a fire. You know, might not happen that easily. It's not that easy to actually do stuff in this game. It's truly not that very easy game when you first play it, when you first started. There's, you know, there's stuff to get used to, especially how you interact with things. Like basically, when you see, I don't know, a stone on the ground, you have to press left mouse button, and with that you're going to be dragging the stone. If you want to equip it, then you have to press right mouse button while you were pressing the left one already, and then you put it in one of your slots. Like you can put it in your hand slots, or you can put it in your back slot, or your chest slot, which is basically for clothing, so you can't really put a stone there. But otherwise, gathering works as you would expect. You get to a boulder and you can right click on it and say, hey, let's find a small stone, let's find a big stone. And then you can hold a shift so he repeats that. And then eventually you might get a stone out of it, right? Basically, you can also hurt yourself doing that. And especially if you start in like spring and summer, the days are going to be plenty hot. So if you just walk through the sun, because you won't know what the actual island looks like because it's all procedurally generated, you're gonna get hot. So probably, like especially in summer, you want to try to find shade and try to find make your like campsite probably around some trees, so you can be in shade. One thing that's really important for you to find early on is a puddle of water. So if you can find a pond, that would be amazing. Finding a pond is like really important because you can't, I mean, you can go to the ocean and try drinking water, but you know, that's salt water. It's not gonna do much for you. Well, it's gonna do a lot for you, but nothing of it is gonna be good. No, trust me. But of course, eventually, and by eventually I mean probably early on, you're gonna encounter some animals out there, and they're not only always gonna be exactly friendly. Like on my play, I just you know, because I was testing things out, I went to Triceratops and throw a stone at him. Trust me, that didn't end up well. He made me bleed eventually, but I did manage to run away from him. He just scared me away. But, you know, fighting him, well, kind of fighting him, made me stronger, actually, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, all the stuff is very realistic, like realistic character creation. We have all the stuff that you would probably have on a human being, well, but with sliders. Very realistic weather system. It's gonna be rain, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be foggy, it's gonna be humidity is gonna go up, all that kind of stuff. Your metabolism needs are gonna be very realistic. You have to eat, you have to drink, all that kind of stuff. Of course, if it's hotter, you're gonna get thirsty sooner and faster because you're gonna be hot. What I want to say also that the developer really updates this game like aplenty. Like, he works on it all the time, and I think he deserves quite a lot of praise for that. Like, really, it's been out for like 3 years in early access now, and it always gets updated, like, constantly. I have mentioned this, but I bought this game like 2 years ago already because I wanted to make a proper Let's Play series on it back then. Yeah, 2 years ago. I think it was like, oh, maybe even more now. Probably, maybe even more. Like early on when I was doing this. But my PC back then couldn't actually handle it. It's not that it's graphically like a very deep game. It's very basic right now. Graphics are basic. They do what they need to do, but nothing special, truly. But since there's so many moving parts and everything constantly moves and does things, it didn't really work on my crappy PC. So you know, game also warns you that if you go on like full settings and all that kind of stuff, it might not work well for you if you don't have a good PC. So that is something that has to be remembered. Also, I didn't mention, as I tend to forget to now, the price for this game is pretty cheap. It's 6.59 euros on Steam. So quite a bargain, to be honest, to get this game. Like, you can get a lot of playtime out of it. And as I said, frequently updated. There's been plenty of updates in the time since I bought it and tried to play it for the first time. So yeah, it's a game I know, and I can guarantee that in this 2 years that I owned it, there's been a ton of updates. I haven't played it much because, well, without recording, I could play it. I couldn't just record, but I played it a bit, so I know it. The developer works on it, is not abandoning it. Now, another thing I want to talk about: the survival is not the only aspect of the game. It's a pretty deep aspect, but it's not the only one. Second part is a god mode. Basically, you can go into a god mode and you have control of the whole island. Like, you can grab animals and reposition them. You can make them mate. You can put a Tyrannosaurus in the middle of a trike pack and hope that he's gonna hunt. You can move trees. You can make rain. You can get it to be foggier. It's basically let's say that it's basically you just observing the system more than influencing it. Of course, you can influence, and since I did that, I did drop the asteroid down on top of it and watch the world burn, which is pretty damn funny, actually. But otherwise, yeah, it's not as deep as the survival mechanic is like really good. You have like wind system, so I was trying to make a fire, and I grabbed a ton of like leaves from a tree, and then I needed some stones to actually make a spark and make fire. And in the meantime, like, the leaves started to, because of the wind, they just blown away. So that was a problem. These leaves just escaped me. You can also do like first aid from leaves, which is kind of cool, because you get to bleed, especially if you throw rocks at Triceratopses. Trust me, you're gonna bleed out of that. Like today, when I was recording this earlier on my first attempt, in the middle of the night, I got jumped because I was bleeding by 2 Troodons, and they just knobbed on me, and I kind of died. I didn't even have time to make a spear or anything like that, so I got wrecked. Anyway, if you like survival games, I think you would like this one. It's a very much like 2D old style survival game. You might have noticed that I play a lot of like old style games when I do this indie stuff, because those are games that I really enjoy, but I haven't played it before because, you know, maybe they wouldn't fit on my channel that well. But this is now up to you. Of course, at the end of the month you can vote for the game if you want to. I wouldn't mind playing it. I would actually really enjoy playing it, getting into the whole crafting system a bit deeper and trying to survive a bit longer. As I said, you know, I love dinosaurs. That's why I bought the game in the first place those years ago. And I'll definitely enjoy playing it if you guys want it. So, do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you like survival games, if you like 2D, definitely recommend it. It has enough playtime right now. You can get plenty of playtime out of it currently, and with the frequent updates, you know, it guarantees that every couple of months you can go out there and play, and there's gonna be something new that you can do. Yeah. Also looking forward to whenever it's gonna be fully released. I think it's gonna be a solid game. Anyway, for now, thank you all for watching. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider dropping a comment down below. Share, like, subscribe, and see more Dino Magic, and I'll see you next time. Koko out.